All right, let's start on all fours. And 5 leg circles going clockwise on the left leg. 2, 3, 4, 5, counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over to the right leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, switch directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, fire hydrants on the left leg, straight out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over to the right leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And bird dog. Straight back with the left leg, up, out with the right arm. 1, all on the same side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, next up, I need to pop my wrist real quick. All right, push-up position. We're gonna take 3 seconds to get from the top to the bottom and drop. 3, 2, 1. Pull into up dog. Let your hips drop down towards the mat. Pull your shoulders back, chest out, eyes gaze towards the ceiling. Push into down dog. All right, let's drop your left heel. Let the right knee relax. Create a big stretch through that calf and hamstring. And then switch sides. And then swing the right leg up as high as you can. And then swing the right foot to the outside of your right hand. Make sure that left leg is locked as straight as you can get it, and reach your right hand towards the ceiling. Hold this for a moment. All right, now take your elbow or your hand and try and push your right knee out. Make sure you're keeping your foot planted. You're trying to pry your chest up and your hips down towards the ground. Take your right elbow, get it as close to the mat as possible. If you can get to the mat, just rest there for a moment. And back to the start of the push-up position. All right, we're gonna come down in 3 steps. I want you to drop down from the top just 2 inches. So drop 2 inches, hold it. Drop another 2 inches, you should be about halfway down. Hold it. Drop the rest of the way, just hovering above the mat, hold it. And then pull into up dog. Decided I should switch it up on you guys just a little bit. Chest out, shoulders back. Push into down dog. All right, let's take the left leg, swing it up real high, and then swing the left foot to the outside of your left hand. Try and get that back leg as straight as you can. Reach your left hand up towards the ceiling. Open your chest up as much as you can here, both arms. All right, use your left hand or left elbow. You're gonna push your knee out as far as you can get it. Pry your chest up, hips down. Take your left elbow, drop it down towards the mat. Hold this for a moment. And return to the start of the push-up position. All right, on this round, we're gonna drop straight to the bottom and pull into up dog. And down, up dog. Shoulders back, chest out, push into down dog. Drive your chest down towards the mat and lift your hips up as high as you can. Legs are straight. Right leg up towards the ceiling, and then shift forward, swing that right foot to the outside of your right hand. Right arm reaches towards the ceiling, and then we're going to bring the right elbow straight down to the mat. Back to the start of push-up. Again, drop straight down, pull into up dog. Push into down dog. Left leg goes up towards the ceiling. Swing the left foot to the outside of left hand. Left hand goes towards the ceiling. Big stretch. Left elbow down to the mat. Back to the start of the push-up position. Drop your knees down. From here, let the knees come out a little bit wider. Let your toes come together. I want you to try and keep your back straight, so don't let yourself round like this as you come back. Keep your chest out and push your hips as far back as you can. This will be easier for some of you than others. Just depends on how your hips are made and how mobile you are. Come back forward, relax, again, push back. Try and get your butt as close to your heels without letting your hips rotate. Come forward. One more time, push back. Trying to get a little bit of a stretch through the groin and the hips here. All right, come back forward. Walk your knees back into the start position. I want you to take in a deep breath. And as you exhale, I want you to round your back out. So pushing your spine towards the ceiling, let your head drop down between your shoulders. Keep exhaling all of the air. Inhale and exhale, reverse. I want you to push your belly towards the ground, lift your head. Try and blow out all of your air as you do this. Taking a deep breath. Exhale, reverse, round your back. As much as you can, push hard through the ground with your hands, straighten your arms. Try and separate your shoulder blades as far apart from one another as you can get them. Taking a deep breath, exhale, and reverse. Arch your back. Drive your belly down, shoulders are pulled down and back away from your ears. All right, return to center. And here I want you to push your hips all the way back to your heels and reach forward as far as you can with your arms. You rest your elbows here for a moment. We're going to try and get a little bit of a stretch through our lats. So from here, I want you to walk your hands as far to the left as you can. Once you feel like you have a pretty good stretch there, you want both your hands together. Take your right hand and grab your left wrist and pull your body away to create a stretch through the right side of your body. You should feel this from your hip to your armpit. And as you're doing this, make sure you're breathing, taking the deep breaths. We'll stay here for just a couple moments. And walk your hands back to the center. Relax here for a moment. Take a deep breath. Walk your hands as far to the right as you can get them. Once you're there, take your left hand, grab your right wrist. You should feel that big pull from your left armpit down to your hip. If you don't, try and pull just a little bit further to the right and take some deep breaths to move in and out of a deeper stretch. walk back to the center. All right, let's go ahead and flip over to your back. And we're gonna go through some activation exercises, starting with my favorite hip thrusters. So as we're doing these, again, always make sure you're trying to squeeze your glutes as hard as you can from the start of the movement to the top of the movement. Let's do 15 and push up, hold it. Make sure both butt cheeks are getting full activation. Squeeze as hard as you can here. Make sure your feet are firmly planted into the ground. Lower yourself back down to the mat and thrust right back up. There's 2, back down, back up. 3, down, up. 4, let's keep this rhythm. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Whoop, went one extra there. That's all right. All right, arms up. Hips and knees to 90-90. And we got dead bug. So go back with your right arm, out with your left leg, lower it to the ground, and return to center. Switch sides. Left arm goes back, right heel to the ground, back to center. There's 2. Keep alternating back and forth. Out and back. There's 3. Out. Back to center. 4. Switch. 5. 6. 7. Keep your lower back pressed into the mat as hard as you can. 8. 9. 10. All right, relax. And going into side plank. So line yourself up. We're gonna hold this for 30 seconds. And actually, if you wanna do the Copenhagen plank this time around, if you have that set up conveniently, you can do that as well. And up. I wonder why it's the Copenhagen plank. Sure, it's some Scandinavian researcher. It's just like, yeah, this is the best way to plank with your foot on bench. And I'm from Copenhagen, so, you know, it's the obvious name choice. Kind of like the Russian twist, the Belgian windmill. And switch sides. We've got Romanian deadlifts. We've got, I'm sure I'm forgetting some of the country's exercises. Up. Oh, the Sicilian crunch. That's a good one. We got 30 seconds. Hold this position. There's 10. 15. 20. 25. And 30. All right, well, we're down here. Let's hold a 30-second front plank, and then we're gonna get into all of our harder movements for the day. And up. 30 seconds here. While you're here, I want you to try to rotate your hips posteriorly. So you're trying to kind of thrust your belt buckle forward and squeeze your glutes as hard as you can. When I say as hard as you can, that probably won't be your first squeeze. You're gonna have to keep going to try and increase the intensity there. Now try and squeeze your quads as hard as you can. And rest. All right, first exercise of today. I guess that was all exercise, but you know, first one not on the mat. Take your wide stance. Something that's wide in shoulder width. maybe by like 1.5 times shoulder width. Feet pointing forwards, and you want to try and press your feet firmly into the ground. Stand up as tall as possible. Bring your arms forward, and then let's act like you're pulling a barbell or a dumbbell in a row as hard as you can. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Big squeeze here. And then thrust your hips back. Make sure your knees don't move forward and hinge as far down as possible. I want you to stop when you feel a little bit of a stretch in your hamstrings. You should have a nice arch in your back. Chest is out, eyes are forward. From here, reach forward as far as you can with your arms. And as you do that, try and keep pushing back with your glutes. As you're doing this, pay attention to your feet. Are you sitting back on your heels with your toes hovering, or you have your arches firmly pressed into the ground? You want the latter. Really press your feet down. All right, stay down in this position. Again, row, bring your elbows back as far as you can. Big squeeze through the shoulders. All right, we're gonna come up just a few inches and down as far as you can until you feel a big stretch. Don't let your back round out here, and come back up and down. And keep pulsating here. So come up a few inches, down a few inches. These are called good mornings. We're just doing them through a limited range of motion without any weight, but same concept. We're trying to focus on the lower back, the glutes, and the hamstrings. If you do this with enough weight with the barbell, your upper back actually gets a really good workout as well, because it has to maintain this position. Every time you come down, you should feel a little bit of a stretch. And when you come up, I want you to think about using your hips and your glutes to try and bring yourself back up. Less is more here. So if you feel yourself rounding, you're going too far. And stop at the bottom. Reach forward with your arms. Big reach here. And then bring your hands down to the ground in front of you. Walk your hands forward just a couple inches. And as you do that, try to push your hips back even further and straighten your knees. This is going to be a big stretch for your hamstrings. Make sure you're breathing. Keeping your feet pressed into the ground. Hold this for one more moment. All right, bring your hands up to your knees. Push yourself back up. Forward reach. Hold this for a moment. All right, now we're going to keep your arms out, drop your hips, and reach your hands towards the ceiling. You should be in a squat position. Hips are still as far back as you can get them while maintaining balance at your feet. Chest is up, arms are as high as you can. Stand all the way up. And relax. Keep your wide stance. All right, go ahead and relax. We're going to move on to the single leg. Just realized how much time we had. All right, so take a long lunging position. Not so long that you're feeling a twist in your hips here. You should have your pelvis, should still be able to keep it aligned and centered forward. All right, stand up as tall as you can. Give me a big row, squeeze those shoulder blades back together and hinge forward. Keeping your right leg slightly bent. You should feel a stretch through that right hip and right hamstring. Okay, from here, hold that position and reach forward as far as you can. As you reach forward, make sure you're not pulling your shoulders up towards your ears. You want to keep them down and back, like you're trying to keep your shoulder blades in your back pocket. It's kind of the cue that helps me here. All right, bring the elbows back, row and squeeze those shoulder blades again. And we do good mornings. So come down just a couple inches and up a couple inches. Less is more here. If you feel your upper back rounding as you go through this, or you're not able to hinge at the hips, that means you're probably going too low and trying to force through a range of motion that you don't have yet. That's not what we want to do here. Every time you come down, you should feel a good stretch in the hamstrings. Try and use that right glute to pull yourself back up when you come up from the bottom. All right, a couple more. And stop. Reach forward. And bring your arms out to the side like you're in an airplane. All right, right hand reaches towards the ground, left hand reaches towards the ceiling. If you feel yourself losing balance, don't go so low. Back to the center, left hand down, right hand up. Return to center, switch. Return to center, switch. Return to center, switch. That's 5. We'll do that one more time. Return to center and switch. Return to center. Reach your arms forward as far as you can. Drop your left knee down. Bend at the right knee. Should be in the bottom of the lunge position, arms towards the ceiling. Hold this for a few moments. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up and relax for a moment. Shake out that leg. We'll get started on the left leg in just a second. It's always way harder than I expect it to be. All right, left leg forward, right leg back. Stand up as tall as you can once you get your feet set. Arms out. Big squeeze with the shoulder blades. Keep the back tight and hinge down. Drop forward until you feel a stretch through your glutes or hamstrings. Make sure your chest is out real big and reach forward with your arms as far as you can while maintaining position. Hold this for a couple moments. Make sure you're breathing, keeping your shoulders down and back. All right, bring your elbows back. Big squeeze through the shoulder blades. Drop down an inch or two and drop, come back up. Good mornings here. Going through your range of motion, it feels good. Creates a little bit of a stretch through the back of that left leg. Do 10 or 15 of these. Go at your own pace. All right, stop at the bottom position. Reach your arms forward. And then come straight out like you're an airplane. Reach down with your left hand towards the outside of your left foot, up with the right arm. Losing my balance. Back to the center and switch. Back to the center, 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 final rep. Go down. Back to the center. Reach your arms forward as far as you can. Drop that back knee down, bend on the left leg, bottom of the lunge position. Arms are going straight towards the ceiling. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, shake out those legs. Recover for a minute. right, next up, let's do a couple of mobility exercises. So last session we did the pigeon stretch. Let's go ahead and do that again. So, because this isn't hard, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Jump up into your push-up position. Bring your right knee forward and lay your leg across your body here. So your left foot should be somewhere near your left hand, right knee near your right hand. All right, from here, walk your hands over. You're going to twist over to your left as far as you can. Walk your hands back to the center. Walk your hands over to the right as far as you can. As you're doing this, you should feel the stretch changing throughout your hip. Walk your hands back to the center. Drop down to your elbows if you're comfortable doing so. And as you do this, try and create as much length through your spine as you can. So don't round to get down there. Try and pull your spine long. And then again, if you're comfortable here, reach your hands out as far as you can and relax down to the mat. Take a few deep breaths here. All right, walk your hands back to the start. Come back up to the start of your push-up position. And then bring the left leg forward, left knee to your left hand, and then your foot's laying across. All right, from here, walk over to the right as far as you can. Keep your spine long, chest out, trying to create a stretch through the hip. Walk back to the center. And walk over to the left as far as you can. Couple deep breaths. Hands back to the center and drop down to your elbows. Hold this for a moment. Try and pull your spine long by walking your elbows forward. You can even use them to kind of pry into the mat and try and create a little more length there. All right, walk your hands out if you're comfortable and just relax down. Take a couple deep breaths. And walk your hands slowly back to center. Back to the push-up position. And relax. All right, final exercise today. We're going to go through that hip 90-90 drill. We're not going to do the whole part. We're just going to go through the first part today. We haven't done this for a while. So feet a little wider than shoulder width apart. Go ahead and keep your hands back for the first side and let your knees drop over to one side. And flip over. Keep your heels planted into the mat and shift your knees over. All right, back to the start. Pull over to the right side. Let's take your hands out of the equation. Try and sit up really tall. And shift. Pull those knees over. Use your strength to move through this motion. Again, sit up tall here. Switch. Shoulders down. Switch. Let's go one more time each direction. Switch. And switch. And relax. That is it today, folks. It's the weekend.